than the Board of Health. Nah, fuck that. On the real, I was so clean that the Environmental Protection Agency couldn't touch me. I stuck out my chest and cleared my throat. Let's do this. I gazed over at my crew and motioned for them to leave with the wedding planner. Before I exited the room, thoughts of Star bombarded my mind. I worried about her and wondered what she may have been doing on this day, my wedding day, a day that she had envisioned for her and me. I left the dressing room and half-heartedly took my stand at the altar. I scoped the chapel, taking count of those in attendance. It appeared that most of the people on my wedding list were present and accounted for. That's what's up, I nodded to myself. Then, I focused my attention on the aisle and watched as the wedding party fell beautifully into place. Finally, the big moment came. The organist began to play the wedding march, and Amanda began sashaying down the aisle. I was stunned as my bride headed toward me. I don't know if I was in awe of her beauty or more in shock that I was actually getting married. I glanced over at my mom's. Her head hung low, deep in her lap. Then my eyes shot over to the pew where Amanda's mother and grandmother were sitting. They both wore the same solemn look on their faces. For a minute, I got lost in their eyes. Suddenly, the doors of the church flew open, and Mousy, the neighborhood gossip box, came bursting in. He looked wild and crazy. His clothes were 2 sizes too big, and his Chuck Taylor sneakers were dangling from his feet by threads. Mousy had a reputation for being the bearer of bad news, and stormed inside the church as if his little ass had received an invitation. He ran center aisle, then stopped abruptly, stepping completely out of his right shoe. "Black, come quick! Something has happened to Star!" Mousy yelled down toward the altar, half covering his mouth with his left hand. Before anyone could acknowledge his presence, he reached down, snatched up his raggedy shoe, then turned and hauled ass out of the church. Murmurs echoed throughout the church. Some of the guests moaned, while others leaned to the side like a stack of dominoes, whispering in the ear of the person sitting next to them. The next thing I knew, I hauled ass past Amanda and out of the church doors. Without me ever having to say a word, my crew bolted after me, because as always, they were down for whatever. The crimson-colored stretch Cadillac limousine that me and my groomsmen had arrived in awaited us outside the church. We jumped in. "Everybody strapped?" I quizzed my crew. "Ready?" All 6 of my niggas answered in unison as we all removed our burners from our tuxedo jackets. I tapped on the glass partition to get the chauffeur's attention. Uncle Charlie, the white chauffeur who had been my driver for a minute, slid the glass down and turned his head around to me. "Yes, sir, Mr. Black?" he asked. "To Fairfield Project now, and don't catch any traffic lights," I ordered him. Gorilla Black. Chapter 1. It was a red-hot summer day, hazy and humid. The air was so motherfucking tight, I damn near couldn't breathe. It was the summer of 1980, and I had just moved to Fairfield Court Projects after my moms had gotten us evicted from our apartment in Matthew Heights. I was sitting on the front porch reading Negro by Langston Hughes when I spotted a bow-legged girl standing across the street, sucking on her thumb. She was wearing a red plastic jacket and red ballerina shoes. Her hair was rolled up in a halter top, and her skinny legs were shiny, as if she had a whole bottle of petroleum jelly on them or something. My little brother Keon, who was 8 years old at the time, yelled out, "Who that girl with the greasy legs and hot plastic on?" Man, I laughed so hard, I almost peed on myself. The girl caught us laughing at her, and from the distance I caught her rolling her eyes. I yelled out to her, "Yo, shorty girl, you better be careful, they might just pop out your head." She threw us an evil stare, and then dropped her stinky thumb from her mouth. "Yo, you ape-looking fool. I know you ain't laughing at me with your big, black, ugly self. And my name is Star, for your information." She shot back at me. Star stood there rolling her neck around with both hands placed on her imagination. "And if I am, what you gonna do about it?" I asked. She sucked her teeth. "Call the zoo and tell them Godzilla escaped? You better go take off that